Ohio State got it done. They went into Ann Arbor. They came out with the win. It was very businesslike in its approach, especially in the second half. They dominated the Wolverines. They pulled away for the victory. Things were very tight early. Obviously, you've got the Jeremiah Smith touchdown on the fourth down, which kind of opened things up. And then once you started to get Michigan a little one-dimensional, once Michigan had to start chasing the game, well, the Buckeyes had certainly done their part. But what were some of the aspects of this that really stood out to you as Ohio State finishes? And I want to make sure we celebrate this because not all teams who were 11-0 made it to 12-0, but Ohio State was one of them. So as Ohio State closes out a 12-0 regular season.
So Michigan had 105 yards on 4 plays. And their other 38 plays went for 55. So early on, Michigan popped a couple nice explosive runs. They had one pass that was decent. And then the Buckeyes just basically allowed 0. So it's just a continuation of that defense. Like, nice job popping some explosive runs, if I got the math right on this. And Chip's looking at it with kind of a different eye here. So I'm thinking maybe I messed up these stats, but maybe I didn't. There we go. Yeah, so if you go to big plays, they basically had four big plays for 105, and then the rest of them went for, 55.
Didn't we talk about that in Big Game Breakdown, Bud? That's exactly what Michigan does.
Right.
The Justice Haynes run. I mean, it's just like all year long, they've been setting themselves up to try and hit a couple of those explosive plays. But it's just they're not built to dominate anybody on a down-to-down level offensively.
Ohio State sees better receiver play from their second stringers in practice on a daily basis than what Michigan rolls out there, as far as like the totality. Obviously, like we know the freshman's good, but like the rest of those guys are kind of whatever. They're fine. Pretty good argument that Michigan needs to go splash the pot in the transfer portal this offseason to get Bryce some better receivers. Pretty good pressure on Underwood most of the day. I thought Ohio State, like, they were pretty physical with the run game. Saying calm down, hit some shots. Receivers played good, made good plays. They're just a better team, and they took a little while to settle into it, but they didn't look like, to me, they didn't look crazy rattled. I didn't feel like, oh, this is unraveling. It felt like, oh, okay, this is like annoying for them for a little bit, but it just felt different to me. I don't know, maybe I'm having the benefit of hindsight on this because the game was 12 hours ago now, but like, I don't know. Did you guys feel like they were ever truly in danger?
No.
Okay.
No, and they got off to the great start. Okay, there was the big run by Marshall on the very first play of the game to get him into Ohio State territory.
The pick.
And yeah, the pick. But I'm saying then they had to settle for a field goal.
Yeah.
Then they get the pick. And then with a chance, with like a 4th and goal situation, I can't remember what yard line they were at. Let's see. It was a 25-yard field goal, so they were like the 7 or 8. So with a chance after that pick to really kind of seal all that momentum, you could have gone for a touchdown. But instead, you kick the field goal. So you're letting them off the hook because they were already down a score. And now they're still down a score. They're freaking Ohio State. It's not going to be that hard for them to get a touchdown and take the lead. Now, you held it for a little while because then Ohio State kind of followed suit and kicked a short field goal themselves. Because I do think that after Julian Sayin threw that interception, Ryan Day kind of snuck back into the Ryan Day versus Michigan kind of mindset where he got ultra conservative because, like, Ohio State, very first play from the game on offense, throw deep, incomplete, but they took a deep shot. Then they come out in that second drive and they're throwing again, and that's when the pick happens. And then it was just suddenly hand it off. And then when they get to that 4th and goal from the 6 after the delay game, Ryan Day quickly sent the field goal team out there to make it 6-3. But I just think overall, Ohio State, when you have that defense and you have those guys on offense, you can afford to be a little conservative over time, especially when you're that confident. If I'm Michigan and I want to win that game, I can't be. I'm not going to beat Ohio State with field goals. Okay, it's pretty clear to me. So I thought that was a big deal. And I also think, honestly, the biggest separation in this game was that Michigan has a quarterback who might be great one day, and Ohio State has one that already is. And you saw that in the way that they treated it too, because once Ryan Day got out of his like conservative funk there, he just started letting his guy air it out again. And what do you know? Like, we have great receivers and a quarterback who can get them the ball against this defense, which is good. But as I was saying all week, it's not the same Michigan defense that we've seen the last few years. Most of the really good elite dudes are gone. There's still some good players left. It's just not the same unit overall. And we saw Ohio State take advantage of that. And Michigan offensively still doesn't have enough dudes, and they're dealing with injuries, which isn't helping. But Marsh has been fantastic for them all season long. He really strikes me as a guy that's going to be special for them. But you know how many catches he had? You know how many catches he had?
I think
because Ohio State has NFL defensive backs.
Yeah,
they can take him away, and they did that. And Michigan had no counter.
No, it was only hope for a PI.
Mm-hmm.
The receivers were not getting open in this game.
Like,
it was.
Ohio State continues to be the only team. Like, the power ratings see this, but like we see it on the field every week as well. Like, they continue to be the only team that is clearly a field goal better than everybody else.
Yes. We ran those
and like
numbers.
In prior years, they might have been a touchdown better than everybody else, right? But like, the sport is more compressed now.
And if you're to game it out again, like just trying to take what we see with what we see on the field with what we see in terms of the data, there's you got to factor in the way that they're going to coach it, which maybe if it was a video game, they could beat teams by more, but they did exactly what they needed to do today, and it was just rocking chair for a lot of that second half. So congratulations to the Ohio State Buckeyes, #1 team in America, and with the win, locked up their spot in the Big Ten championship game, as first reported by Tom Fornelli on the Cover 3 podcast after he ran his numbers
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, his proprietary formula, the Tom Fornelli Big Ten title game predictor, sponsored by Tom Fornelli.
Mm-hmm.
Told you it was going to be Ohio
metrics.
State. It was my metrics. Told you it was going to be Ohio State and Indiana. Indiana, by the way, got themselves in a real tough one on Friday night.
I mean,
golly.
Kurt Signetti is a man who understands how rivalries work, and then you've got the chance to absolutely embarrass your rival. Embarrass him. So it's like, he did it to Ryan. He got Ryan. I mean, I think Ryan might have been fired either way, but he definitely helped Ryan Walters get fired last year. And then this year he's like, hey, Barry, welcome to the old Oak and Bucket game. I'm just going to drop 50 on you real quick. I
have no notes football-wise from this game. I feel like it was a more productive conversation for us to get just real quick. We're going to spend a lot of time this week talking about it. We'll get 12-0 Ohio State, 12-0 Indiana. What are the first things that pop off when you start thinking about the matchup?
How much pressure can Indiana get on Ohio State? Like, can they figure out a way to bust their protections? Can somebody finally get open against Ohio State's defense consistently? Like, Mendoza's the arm and like the smarts to hit him. It's just good. Like, Cooper and Surratt are those guys. Are they up to the task? Like that's going to be a really interesting challenge there. Like how much run game can they really get going? I mean, look, Michigan popped a couple explosives. It's basically all they did. But this is the toughest test they'll have faced so far this year. So like I'm really looking forward to watching this.
Same. I'm happy they actually get to play.
18-team conference. We actually get these two teams playing each other. It's amazing.
It's wild.
Oh, it's in the championship game. Well, thank God. Not every conference can say that. I think that it is going to be shocker from the vibes department. The Indiana Hoosiers are playing in the Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis. And I understand that I've said this before, I understand Ohio State makes everywhere a somewhat friendly environment. And I know that every time the game is played, fans, obviously, there's a lot of red in that stadium. Like the red pops, especially, when they're playing at Michigan. So I know that Ohio State fans will be there too. Well, buddy, this is a moment for Hoosier football. Fernando Mendoza out there talking about how Pat Coogan stood up in the locker room at halftime, giving them a pump-up speech, calling them the team of misfits, making history. We'll see. I think the environment inside that building, people decry conference championship games. What are they even worth? Why do we even still have them? Let's get rid of them. I predict that the environment inside that building is going to be raucous for 1v2 on Saturday night. Even though both teams are a lock for the college football playoff and the loser could absolutely go and accomplish something that the winner wants, I think that that's going to be a really fun conference championship game.
Ohio State currently a 5.5-point favorite at FanDuel, by the way.
Fair.
What does that close at?
I think it closes closer to 3 than 7.
Were you thinking movement the other way?
Yeah.
I don't think it'll get over 7.
No. But like Bama closed what, like 7 minus 05 after being like 5, 4.5, 5.5 the whole week.
I didn't know it ran out like that, but I mean, it's Ohio State. Ohio State football, Kentucky basketball, it's like.
I think it'll probably close at like 6.5 juice.
Yep.
People will take the 7 if it hits 7. People will lay the 6, 5.5.
Or just go ahead and take that 6, take that 5.5. Actually, I hope it gets to 4, so I can take the 4 too.
The only thing Chip's concerned about is the third quarter number.
Yeah, come on. No, the fourth quarter for Indiana. Ohio State for the third quarter, Indiana for the fourth quarter. That's how we do it.
Does the Cash App trophy extend to championship week or not?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Championship week has always been the final.
Yeah, no, Bud, you might be in the lead after this week. I haven't done the numbers yet.
We'll
I think Chip rebounded after a tough morning, but we might have some. It might be a race down to the end.
Yeah,
I'm racing Danny for third.
I'm either going to be 5-5 or 6-4, depending on if Stanford wants to.
They're making a game of this, Chip.
Hey, we're on the board. Hey, we're on the board.